Welcome to the Underground, my little underground with Peter A.
It's My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. This week on the show, we have Shana Cleveland returning to the show to talk about the new La Luz album, News of the Universe, out right now on Sub Pop Records. And after years with the Sub Pop subsidiary, Hardly Art Records, this is the first La Luz album on Sub Pop. And Shana talks about the usefulness of a big label in 2024. And we also talk about Shana's love of print media, Soul Train, and so much more right here on My Little Underground.
My little underground.
Shana Cleveland, back on My Little Underground. So glad to have you. How the hell are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, busy, but good.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. There's so much to talk about with you. And first of all, happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day. How
Thank
did
you.
you spend your Mother's Day?
I spent it with my mom and my son, and we went to we went and got lunch and just kind of, you know, meandered around town. It was nice. It's very
That's
chill.
so cool. That's so cool. Many generations of mothers together. I love it. That's so beautiful. So first of all, congratulations on the brand new La Luz album, News of the Universe. We'll dive in to the album a little bit, but one thing I saw on the La Luz Instagram that kind of caught my eye, you guys shared a band, Yanti Bersaudara. Am I pronouncing that right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and the Sinbad album specifically, how first of all, how did you discover this band?
Yeah, I so there's this really great record store in Portland called Mississippi Records. And they put out, if you go in there, they just have a big rack of tapes that they make in-house. So it's like just been really inspired by a lot of them. But they had this one called Sunda Pop, and it was all Indonesian music from, I guess, this like 60s, 70s, 80s. And this was like right before I started La Luz, and I was listening to this tape all the time. I was on tour with my band before this band, and I was just like, I want to be in a band that sounds like these bands. And so I just kind of went, when I got home, I was just like on YouTube trying to find more bands that sounded like that. And I found that band Yanti Bersaudara and that album Sinbad. And I was just like, whoa, this is exactly what I've been looking for. It was like all of the elements that I liked from this tape, but kind of like even better because it had this kind of like twangy guitar, and like it had more of like a kind of rock and roll vibe than a lot of stuff on that album. And I was just like, whoa, this is like the band that I want to create. So it was really a big inspiration for just like the original idea behind La Luz.
And I went ahead and listened to it myself, and I just heard it. This is the La Luz predecessor, and I love it. All the harmonies, all the whirly hits. It's so beautiful. So generally speaking, are you in a position, or do you put yourself in a position now? You've been in music for a while to discover new music. I know it's harder as you get older.
Yeah, I feel like I do. I don't go to as many shows. Um, but I do feel like I'm still like finding new music. I mean, I Spotify, it's like, it's for better or worse. I do feel like it does make it easy to find new music. Like it's not, I'm not like in love with the platform. It obviously doesn't pay artists very well, but I do use it all the time, and I feel like I do find a lot of good stuff just like kind of scrolling around Spotify, like going down YouTube wormholes and stuff like that.
Do you ever find yourself on tour and people come up to you and say, "Hey, check out this band or this person," or are you receptive to that at all?
It's like I try to be like I want to be. I'm not always. I think that a lot of times I'm like, okay, I'll check that out, and I just forget. But I do try to check stuff out, and every now and then I find something I really like. There's actually this band that messaged me out of nowhere on Instagram and they were like, we want to send you our record. And I don't know, I was just like, okay, here's my PO box. And I loved it. And I was like, wow, this is kind of maybe this is the first time this has happened where I was just like, I actually love this and it's inspiring me, you know. And then they just recently, like, they were like, hey, we have a new record. Can we send that to you? And I was just like, yes, totally. So that's cool when it just kind of falls in your lap like that. I feel like when I'm on tour, it's harder because it's just so, everything's so chaotic and I don't have anywhere to put things. So I feel like when people give me stuff on tour, it does usually kind of get lost. But if they're, you know, if the moment's right and I'm sort of like at home and I have time, then yeah, it's awesome to just kind of find out about music that way.
With Strange World, right? You know, the refrain of it, you know, look alive in the strange world and you know, we'll be fine, just take your time, resonated with me, but I just want to know where your head was at when putting together the song.
Yeah, I feel like um that to me is just, I feel like it's so easy to just rush through everything. And um, especially since becoming a mom, I've just felt like you just have like these small windows of time. And I'm always just like, okay, I got to get to the next thing. I got to get to the time when he goes to sleep. I got to get to like this hour of free time. And like, and it's hard to not do that, but I feel like it's really crucial. And and then, you know, when I got my cancer diagnosis, it was really such a lesson in that because I was forced to slow down. I had to cancel all my tours and really like so many plans. You know, I had all these plans that I was like rushing to get to and like get through. And so it was just like everything was canceled. And it, in a way, it was, you know, uh, it was just like it was a really important lesson. I feel like I kind of emerged out of that whole thing as a different person, and I'm really trying to like hold on to everything that I learned during that time now. But that was a big one for me. It's just like just take your time, just slow down. Um, because I think that, you know, in our culture, it's so easy to lose track of like um, just taking time for yourself and um, not being sort of obsessed with productivity. Um, yeah, I don't know, just sort of, you know, taking time to smell the flowers, I guess.
The rest of the album, right? I noticed something like listening to songs like Reaching Up to the Sun and Strange World, Dandelions, Close Your Eyes. I'm noticing vocals to the front. A lot of vocal arrangements, a lot of vocal harmonies. I know that's kind of typical for La Luz, but I don't know if something felt different here. Like there was more of that. Like production wise, was there anything going into News of the Universe that okay, we need to be, let's do a lot of more vocal arrangements or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like I'm that's kind of my goal. Like every album, I'm like, can we get even more vocal arrangements on here? I'm just always trying to go like to go to the max with that. Um, yeah, so I feel like and to just kind of do different things with them. Like there's at least two, maybe more times on the record where we will do like a slow laugh. So it's just ha ha ha, you know. And then there's, you know, there's like the kind of like ooh ah kind of stuff, which we've always done. But yeah, to just kind of find like textural and like just kind of more like abstract vocal parts, you know, not always just like harmonizing on the lyrics, but to kind of make the vocals to make each vocal its own instrument and look at it that way.
Yeah, it kind of has like a slice of your solo work, just kind of being one with the earth, and not so much let's rock. Even though that's there, there's still some guitar solos, but like it's a lot more, you know, listen to us harmonize. That's to the front here, and I love that. I thought it was a great element there. So
Cool.
when it comes to the La Luz Observer, can you give me, if you can, like a sneak peek of the newspaper, the reasoning for the Observer, and some of the plant facts, if you will?
Yeah, well, the album's called News of the Universe,
Yeah.
and I had this idea for a music video where I was delivering the news of the universe. And so we did that with the video for Strange World, the first video to come out for the record. And I just thought, I think we should actually just make a newspaper that people can read that, comes with the record. I just always think it's nice to offer some sort of extra physical thing that comes with a pre-order because I personally I just love print media. I'm really into print media. Like I love newspapers. I'm so sad that there's like less weekly papers in existence anymore in like physical form. I just love that kind of stuff. I feel like I've just found out about so much music that way. Um, so yeah, I just kind of wanted to give a nod to that. And also News of the Universe is the title of a book that was really inspirational to me when I was writing the words to the album. So it's, and it was a book of poetry, which is a sort of antiquated, form of art that very few people care about. But like I love that kind of stuff. So it just felt like a cool way to just kind of tie in a few things to do with the record and also offer people just like a cool artifact, I guess, if they are, willing to go beyond streaming and actually buy the physical album. Um, and yeah, it's like it was so much work. I definitely was like had moments where I was like, why am I doing this? It's so much work, but I'm so glad because I think it turned out so cool. And it's just got all kinds of stuff in it. It's like it's got articles and an interview. I did an interview with Miriam, the producer and new keyboard player for the band. And I asked my friend Rachel, who's a herbalist, to give me some plant facts. um, it's because this record is so steeped in like the natural environment of where I live that I thought it would be cool to just kind of like to put something in there that focuses on some of the plants out here that I see every day and that are just kind of around while I was writing these songs. Um, and yeah, like what else? It's got crossword puzzle, it's got comics, it's got coupons that you can actually use. I really had to like kind of convince people to let me do that. Like there's a coupon for if you go to Sub Pop has a store in the Seattle airport and
Yes.
there's a coupon so you can go to the counter of the Sub Pop store and present this coupon and they'll give you a sparkling water from the employee lounge. So, which I just
Fantastic.
thought was kind of fun, like if you're just like, because I think you would see that and be like, is this real? Can I really do this? And yes, you can. So yeah, it's just kind of like goofy stuff in there. There's a phone number that you can call and hear like some of Lou Reed's most bizarre lyrics read to you by a robot. There's just like there's just like every weird idea. I was like, let's throw it in there.
Sister Ray's got some bizarre lyrics. Like the whole White
Yeah,
Heat, White Light album is very, very strange. So
that's true. I actually pulled most of the lyrics for this from I think like this self-titled album, but you could pick any album. There he was such a freak.
yes, absolutely. Can you share at least a piece of a plant fact from the Observer?
I don't have it in front of me, but she talks a lot about like kind of gets into like the mid, not even just medicinal, but like the the ways that some of these plants can like work with our biology. So sometimes that's like consuming the plant, and sometimes it's just like it's a little I can't think of anything specific.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It
But
looked. I saw the video you put up on Instagram. It looks very in depth. So I don't expect for you to remember everything that was in there. You brought up Sub Pop, right? So this is the first La Luce album that's on Sub Pop proper. You guys have been with Hardly Art forever, right? And it's a part of Sub Pop and all that stuff. So now that La Luce has an album on a bigger label like Sub Pop, have you ever had any big label aspirations? And do you think what can a label do for a band in 2024?
Yeah, I mean it's a good question. I think that depending on what level you're at, a label can do so much for you, or it could, not really be necessary. I think definitely like where we're at, I right now, I feel like a label is so helpful. And certainly for like bands just starting out, it's huge. It's almost like it's just this credible organization that says, yes, we endorse this band. It's almost just like kind of gives you an in to so many other parts of the music industry. And then there's, all of the help that they give with just distribution and but a lot of everything that a label does, an artist could do by themselves, right? Except for it's that like seal of approval. Um, and like, and I personally wouldn't want to do all that stuff myself. So it's also just like great to have somebody take all that on. But for me it's I was such a fan of Sub Pop, like going through their back catalog. I did an interview where I was asked to like pick out some of my favorite Sub Pop releases, so I was like looking back through all of their releases over the years, and I was just like, holy crap, like there's so many good records here. Like stuff I just didn't realize that they had even released. I was like, whoa, that one too, so it is very like just cool to be involved in such a storied label, something that's been like such a part of the culture of especially rock and roll for so long.
Is it true that La Luz has Soul Train a dance line at your show? So like,
Well,
can you tell me
well,
about the influence of Soul Train to you personally as the band and to your live shows?
oh man, I mean, like I'll just say we used to do that. I don't know if we're gonna keep doing that because I was like, I feel like we've done it too many times at this point. Like I could have to like phase it out. But yeah, I mean I just like 70s Soul Trust, like I don't even know if it was how much earlier it was around, but like definitely the 70s Soul Train. Just that's like the easiest way to improve my day if I'm just kind of like needing a pick me up. It's just I just love that stuff so much, just to see people, it's just like the outfits, the style, just the confidence, the swagger. It's just like to me it's just such a special moment. And of course it never gets that cool, when we try to do it live. It's never really approaching like the level of greatness that is like 70s Soul Train. But I just kind of like the idea of getting people to just kind of come together around this idea of we're all kind of getting out of our comfort zone and just like getting free for a second. And so we would yeah, prompt Soul Train lines at live shows a lot, and it was really fun. I don't know like what it would feel like to be in the audience for that. I'd say at least like half of the crowd loved it as far as I could tell. And maybe like some people were like, why are we doing this? Can we just get back to the show? I don't know.
Uncultured people.
But for me personally, it was like my favorite part of the night, just like watching people just like, all right, here I go.
Um, at least if you're not gonna do the dance line, at least do the word jumble.
I don't know that was that on Soul Train?
Yeah, yeah. There used to be a board, and then there'll be letters, and you have to put the letters together to form a word. Soul Train was the best. It was the
Okay,
best, man. Don Cornelius, R.I.P. Man, he was the man.
yeah.
Um, I don't want to take too much of your time, Shayna. I appreciate you taking time talking with me again. Really love the new La Luz album, News of the Universe. Anything else you want to share and plug? This is your time.
Oh, just come see us on tour. We're gonna be all over the US, with more US dates announced at some point soon, and all over, Western Europe. Hopefully we go into Australia. Um, yeah, just excited to play these songs and to just like get out in public again and feel like a connection to humanity. It's been weird not touring for a few years.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see you. I haven't seen La Luz live yet. All the years I've been listening to you guys. So yeah, I'm excited for y'all to come through New York.
Oh, New York.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll be there for sure.
absolutely. Shayna, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you once again. And yeah, hope to see you at a live show.
Yeah, good to talk
Yeah.
to you, Peter.
Yeah, likewise. Take care.
Bye.
My little underground.